Phil Necro is actually a very good friend of theirs. He stops in every year with a case of Michelob Light before the Hall of Fame induction ceremony and has beers with my grandfather down there, and so it's pretty cool.
Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of RIP and Riff. Did you have a pain in the ass RA in college? Because I was really lucky and didn't, and I'm joined by one of my cool RAs today. Chris Anderson is joining the show with us. Chris, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Rob? I appreciate the compliments. Good to know that I wasn't too much of a torment as your RA back in your freshman year.
You were a pain, but you were manageable.
I tried to make it as reasonable as possible, right? And in the long run, we became good friends, so it all worked out, right?
I appreciate that, and I'm glad we stayed in touch. So how have you been these last few months, especially with everything going on?
Oh man, obviously it's just been a crazy time. I can't deny that for anybody. I'm sure every single person has their own story of how this whole pandemic has affected them, and related to what we're talking about, even with sports and stuff like that. I think in particular, I think sports is an interesting thing, and I think what I found is that sports is a great way to connect with your friends and with people and with just all kinds of different interactions that are kind of created throughout the day because of it. And man, it's just, obviously there's so many things that are affected just besides sports, but when you think of just that alone, that's just gone. It creates this huge gap that people try to fill, and that's hard for a lot of people. So you can feel the struggle and things like that. And so finding little things here and there. I'm an expert on marble racing on YouTube, which is really interesting. Some really weird sports that I find myself some dark YouTube holes that you always end up on. Other than that, man, I've been doing good. Honestly, been getting into this card ripping craze. So I have not done any card rips myself, but I've been getting really into it. Just started following on YouTube and things like that. And I've noticed that it's started to pick up in popularity during this time, which is really kind of interesting. I want to get your thoughts on that actually a little bit too. But it's been pretty cool, you know what I mean? And so I'm excited that you're somebody that I know. When I heard you were doing this, I was Jack, because yes, let's go. This is a cool thing. I'm interested to hear more about it. And so as someone who's dove in, what do you think about it a little bit more?
Honestly, I think it's a combination of things. I think you mentioned it. We're kind of sports starved. And if nothing else, this is kind of in the memorabilia class of things that remind us of our favorite athletes, our favorite teams, our favorite sports. I think that's a good feeling in the environment right now. I think it's a combination of that and a combination of we have a lot of people who are just straight up gambling addicts in our country, and they're looking for ways to scratch that itch.
True facts.
To an extent, I mean, you're spending money on stuff you don't know what's inside. And there's a luck gambling aspect that I think appeals to a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah, no, that's honestly 100% true. What kind of piqued my interest was I started to see how it's treated like the stock market almost, how the popularity of certain cards and certain players can fluctuate based on just how good they are. Look at Pete Alonso last year, right? Go Gators, by the way, and go Mets. I knew I'd find some common ground between the two of us at least, right? And so Pete Alonso, just all of a sudden, he went, out of his mind, Rookie of the Year performance. And it's just, his card is now not untouchable, but very expensive if you want to try to buy it, right?
It's an investment now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As someone who's a big fan, it's not his nicest cards aren't the most attainable things right now. But you mentioned Florida, so you're obviously, you're down in Gainesville now. What brought you down there, and what have you been up to there?
I moved down to Florida to get my PhD in biomedical engineering. Why? Because I'm a little crazy and just decided that you can never get too much school. So I've been down here doing a little bit of work since then and enjoying sunny Florida. And then,
so in your time in Florida, you've become a big Gators fan, I assume, right?
Oh man, so anyway, so as you were asking about, so I moved down to Florida, and I mean, I would be lying if I said that the sports were not a big reason for me. I remember going to my first Gator game was Florida, Alabama, and it was just amazing football, and just unreal sports, couldn't beat it. And so I got I completely went all in on being a Florida Gator, loving them. No loss to RIT because we were RIT hockey, and there's no hockey in Florida, so there was no cross divisional competition. So I didn't feel that I was selling myself out in any way. So I want to make sure I'm not, plugging or hurting any of my fellow RIT brethren out there. All right, and so I'm a huge Florida Gator fan. Love all their sports. Got really into everything, and the cool part for me was so I continued my life in residence life. So as I was your RA and then continued that for a couple years after, I became a graduate hall director and supervised RAs while I worked in Florida. And doing that allowed me to basically have like a free apartment on campus, which was great because I could walk across the street to McKeithen Stadium and watch, future MLB stars play. And for free, which was sweet as a student, And so I go all the time. You go out there for the afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. You couldn't beat it, man. Go out there, catch some great games. And so I saw some really, really cool athletes play and stuff like that. And so I saw Pete Alonso back when he broke his jaw and had to wear a face mask. Yep. Oh yeah, man. I remember that for sure. And this is fun, man. I'm excited to hang out and crack some packs.
All right. Well, I'm excited too. So why don't we jump right in then? So what we have is we got some blaster boxes, Target exclusives of 2019 Diamond Kings. So Diamond Kings for me is one that I remember, biking to the card shop in my town when I was like 13 years old, and that's what I would buy at that store. I was really into the painter style designs on them. They had like a canvasy texture.
Yeah,
and they were really cool to me. So I got really into those. Then they disappeared for a while, but I kind of picked them up again recently, and I was really excited to see them. So that's one of the reasons I picked this set in particular. So I'm excited to see what we have in here.
I'm excited too. That's pretty cool that you mentioned that art actually, because that was something that when I did a little research ahead of time. I was just curious about the packs and stuff. And one thing I did notice about the Diamond Kings is they do that kind of that whitewash colored text or colored wash over the top of it. And I love it. I think that was as a secondary kind of a card, maybe not what you would want as like your original rookie card or something like that, right? But as a secondary kind of card, it's beautiful. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see what they have.
They're gorgeous. And you know what? Why waste more time? I think we can
do it, man. Enough
get going. Right now, I got this really ridiculously thick one, which I'm really excited about.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
I gotta compare these two. Look at this. There's clearly something in that one. So I'm excited. Now, I'm saving that one for last, too.
Man, now you got me squeezing these packs. Oh, I do. Oh, maybe that one. Maybe there's one that's really thin, which is disappointing, but that's okay.
Sometimes they put filler in there, so you never know.
That's a good point. I'm gonna save that one for last too. The big thick one. I like your head for that. All right, and then the bonus. Should we save that for last too?
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right. So first thing you gotta do though is you gotta pick a number between 2 and 5.
Oh man, I gotta go with number 4.
4. All right.
Wait. I'm gonna take that back. I'm going to go with number 2 for my favorite player, the man that should be inducted this summer, a little delayed, next summer, Derek Jeter. I got to go with number 2. I had to change it back up for my man.
You had to shill for Jeter. I get it.
All right, I had to.
All right, so let's open pack 1.
All right. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, these are dope.
I'm not gonna put mine through the screen, so I'm gonna have to tell. So everyone,
let's see what you got.
All right, my man. So first card we have Jimmy Fox. Does that see it? Can you see that? Yeah. Man, I really do love that that whitewash color and the texture on it too. It is really cool. Cedric Mullins.
You want to just center it just in case.
Yeah, no problem.
You're good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Cedric Mullins. Nobody wants to see my face anyway. Oh, nice. Forrest Whitley. This is an interesting kind of, I guess, was this like an insert?
Yeah, I've got one of those too that I'll show you. But yeah.
That's awesome. From the Houston
Flyers. Kind of.
That's very cool. That's a nice card. I like that. Oh, I do want to make sure that I tell everyone at home and you that I do have card cases. So if we get something good, I'm not messing around here. Okay, I want to make sure I take care of the good stuff. All right, we got Freddie Freeman,
He's pretty good.
and finally Joe Wood.
All right.
Nice. That's a little bit of a throwback right there. I like that.
I love
All
how
right.
they mix like the old guys and like the current stars. So I have Josh James. Speaking of throwbacks, Satchel Paige.
Oh, match.
And here's that like horizontal card I have. I've got Otani. So
oh, okay.
Good example of old school and new school guys.
Otani, that's good, Paul.
I'm okay with that.
I like that.
Justice Sheffield and Christy Mathewson. So I'm pretty happy with what came out of there.
Yeah, pretty solid. I think Justice Sheffield. I think he's prepared to have a good year, honestly.
When it happens.
That's what everyone keeps saying, right? It's like he's the guy that's kind of due, right?
That's fair. So you mentioned you're from Cooperstown. What was that like, kind of growing up, literally on the doorstep of the shrine to baseball?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because outside of that, I would say that that period of summer, which would be the end of July into August. Baseball was always just an heir of the town, so to speak. But it's not like we had professional league or minor league team or anything like that. Nothing that really carried that sense throughout the year. You were a fan exteriorly, and then when everyone came into town for the summer to go to Hall of Fame, to see Doubleday Field, which is really cool. So for people who aren't aware, like Doubleday Field is pretty famous for one, it was in the movie A League of Their Own. The field that you see often that's filmed in that that's where that movie was filmed. And but not only that, it's just a famous baseball little mini park in the middle of town where they used to have the professional teams come and actually play in like an exhibition game. And it was like super, super cool. I remember like Tina Martinez came, like threw a ball out into the stands that my dad caught and ended up giving to me, which was kind of cool one year when they all came. And like, it's just different experience, a different experience from that end of it. So a lot of excitement kind of built up like that week-long festival. And so it's changed a little bit now, just because they've broken it up. They have minor league teams come in because the MLB schedule is so rigorous that it's hard to really fit it in and stuff like that. But growing up there was cool. It was cool because so my grandparents actually own a bed and breakfast in Cooperstown, and so through that luxury, they've hosted some really cool families of MLB players. Nolan Ryan, Sparky Anderson, Phil Necro is actually a very good friend of theirs. He stops in every year with a case of Michelob Light before the Hall of Fame induction ceremony and has beers with my grandfather down there. And so it's pretty cool. So for me growing up, that experience was like, oh, okay, these are cool guys coming in. Like you don't really adjust to it. You don't really see the connection to it until eventually you get older and you're like, wow, like that is just an experience. And coolest induction I remember, well, I got to see Nolan Ryan sit up close in the induction seats, which was really cool. I think he had like cousins who didn't show up, so we got to take these extra tickets or something. But the wildest it ever got was definitely Cal Ripken so far. I think Derek Jeter would have been the craziest because when you have Yankee that close to the city, it's just hard not to bring him up like that. But bring a lot of people up. But Cal Ripken, I'm surprised that that Cooperstown didn't sink in a couple feet because of how many people were in town. It's crazy. But it was cool. It was a cool experience, and it gave me it gave me appreciation for the history of the game a lot. I really appreciated records being broken and new accomplishments being met all the time. And I thought that was always a really cool feat for sure.
That's awesome. So between Tino tossing you a baseball and hanging out with like Nolan Ryan, would you say those are like the coolest like things that you got to experience as a young fan growing up just because you lived in Cooperstown and you had the family who ran that bed and breakfast? Or are there any other cool stories that you have?
Oh man, I wish I could say that I had very specific cool stories. I feel like so I've definitely sat with probably the coolest thing was I sat with my great-great-grandfather at the time. I was probably 10 years old or so, and we sat what was considered the grandstand seats. and it was like the coolest. They were basically the only covered seats in the whole section, but the whole park is like old rickety wood, like everything that people crowded in to watch these professional players, right? And I remember, I think it was the Cleveland Indians, and I can't remember who they were playing, but I remember it was Ricky Leday was on Cleveland at that time. And I remember because I got an autographed baseball from him, like squeezed the baseball down through the fence, and he signed it and popped it back through, which was cool. But also, too, I got to meet Don Sutton that day, who sat like pretty much right next to me, who got inducted that weekend. And that was really cool. And I remember just knowing that it was a big deal. Like, I didn't get to see him, Don Sutton, pitch ever. YouTube wasn't like, I couldn't just go look him up and I didn't be like, oh my God, this is the guy I'm going to go see. It's amazing, kind of a thing. And I can't watch the 10-part documentary on him, like we can with Michael Jordan now, right?
So you picked pack number 2.
I did.
So we're on pack 2. So we're going to play a game called Cards Against Humanity or the Internet. So I have Cards Against Humanity, or I have Answer the Internet. You have to pick a game, and if you pick Cards Against Humanity, I'll pick a card, and you'll need to fill in the blank with a player in your next pack. If you pick Answer the Internet, you will have to answer the question as a player you pick from your next pack. Full impression and everything if you feel like they have a distinct voice or something like that.
All right. I like it. Okay.
All right, so pick one.
I'm gonna go with Cards Against Humanity. I'm a big fan of the game. Big fan of the game, and I gotta stick with them. Should I flip through them first?
Nope, not yet, because I got to show you the question still. Here we go.
All right, I'm ready.
When you are a billionaire, you are going to erect a 50-foot statue to commemorate blank.
Oh, man, that's a good one. Oh, man. I hope I pull Aaron Judge. Because you only really need to add a couple extra feet before it's like life size, right?
That's true. That's true.
Right. Oh, man, I'm excited. Okay.
All right, go for it.
I like this. This is a good one, man. All right, let me crack this one open. I'm trying to be careful with the packs, and that's just silly. Let me rip it open like a 3-year-old on Christmas. All right. Ooh, okay. Miguel Andujar. Got a little backwards action here. Taylor Ward. Oh, we got a special insert. Joe Mauer, Team Heroes.
Okay.
Chris Shaw. Oh, man. Ty Cobb. And honestly, I think it's going to have to be the man. I mean, out of all these cards, this guy's a legend. Ty Cobb, one of the greatest hitters of all time, if not the greatest, right?
You're going to erect a 50-foot statue to Ty Cobb?
I feel like that has to happen.
Okay, fair. Are you going to make the statue out of bronze, or are you going to maybe go for like some Michelangelo marble style deal?
Ty Cobb. Oh man, let's think. What would be a creative material for Ty Cobb? Cobblestone.
Sharpened spikes.
I would make it out of cobblestone.
Cobblestone? Okay. Yeah. Fair. Good luck with that. Have fun. All right. So I have Jonathan Loaisiga. Probably butchered that name. I got another Ohtani.
Man, Ohtani's your hot guy tonight.
Yeah, right? And then I got a Team Heroes insert myself, Juan Soto.
Oh, Soto. Man, I think, okay, he's a guy who I have a good feeling about.
I think he's going to be pretty good. I was fortunate enough to get to catch him for a couple games in Harrisburg.
Oh,
I lived in Pennsylvania, so that was fun to watch.
Very cool. He tore it up while you saw him?
He was struggling, actually. It was kind of fun.
Well,
but you remember, like, oh, this kid's like 18 years old and in AA, and he's not making a fool of himself. So it was fun to watch. And then I got Albies and the opposite of Aaron Judge, Altuve.
Oh, Altuve, man. Well, if you run out of TP during the pandemic, I love it. So, Rob, have you been a Mets fan all of your life?
Basically, yeah. So the short version of that is obviously grew up in New York, upstate. Yankees and Mets fans all around me. I kind of bounced back and forth when I was super young. I didn't really care. I just like baseball. What cemented the Mets for me was it's funny. Literally just the signal my TV could get in my bedroom.
Yeah.
The games were airing on the WB at the time. And I had the old school rabbit ears antenna with some tin foil on the back on each one. And I was able to get the Mets games, and I was rarely ever able to get the Yankees games. So just eventually through exposure, I became a Mets fan. And then I started paying more attention to players that I really enjoyed. Like Benny Agbayani, I really loved watching. I just thought he was funny.
And the Mets.
Yes, Benny and the Mets. So, and then I've just stuck with it. Obviously, once they got Piazza, like Piazza became basically my favorite player up until like David Wright happened. So you could say like I follow the big guys, which whatever.
No,
but yeah,
most
of my life it's been the Mets.
Every team has those idols, right? And that like you kind of slip into, and I think that's what like you gravitate towards those great players. And those are great players to assimilate to as a Mets fan. You know what I mean? And now you have like Pete Alonso and really like which is just like awesome, and other they a barrage of talented pitchers, that you can really kind of adhere to. I think that's really cool, for sure.
I'm excited to see how Pete matures. I think he's demonstrated a lot of like maturity and understanding of leadership. So I'm really excited to continue to see what he can do with this team.
It was really cool watching him play as a Gator. And I would usually sit. So they did have student section seats, but I never sat in them. I always like snuck in and sat in the really good cushy seats because you could always find a couple empty ones. And I always sat on the first base side, so I always sat and saw right next to Pete pretty much. And he really did. He commanded the infield, really vocal, and you could tell that he was just a dominant leader on the force or a dominant leader on the field. He was injured for a short period of time, I remember, and like Florida, they didn't struggle, but they definitely dipped. You could tell that there was just something missing in their team, and I think that you can see that. I think through his ascension through the minors and into the majors so quickly that. And look at him now. Now they look up to him almost on the Mets, and he's going into his second year. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm feel very fortunate as a fan that he's on my team.
Yeah.
So you want to jump into pack number 3?
Absolutely. Let's do it, man. This is awesome. This is my first crack pack. Crack pack. Crack pack.
I'm about to say crack packs may get you in trouble. You never know.
All right. Pack number 3. Jake Bowers.
Okay.
You need to get out of that light. Ooh, little Lou Gehrig, my man.
Right. He had a good career.
Yep, he's already got a couple statues. Oh, man, and then we're just flying them on. A little Joe DiMaggio.
There you go.
That's cool, man.
This pack was built for you.
Yeah, this is awesome. Hall of Fame heroes. That's pretty cool. Man, I'm getting like all the old school packs. Sam Crawford. Gosh,
I'm too familiar with his work.
Oh my gosh. And then Ronald Acuna Jr., the man that everyone seems to want these days, at least rookie card wise, right?
He's pretty good.
I mean, I'm trying to get sorry, I'm not centering this very well.
You're good. You're good where you're at.
Man, that's Ronald Acuna. I'm excited to see him play. He's one of those guys. It's why I want the season to start. He's an electric player, and I think like Atlanta has just such a young nucleus of players that I think they're going to be I'm sorry to say this to a Mets fan, obviously, but I think they're going to be kind of fun to watch or interesting anyway.
No, I agree. And I got to say, last year I was really lucky and had to work in Atlanta right before the Mets came into town. So I just took a few days off after and stayed the weekend and caught like a couple games in the series.
No,
2 things. Yes, that young nucleus is insane and is going to be very good. 2, that field that they just renamed it in Atlanta. That little area around it, the field itself, gorgeous, beautiful, awesome. Highly recommend the stadium tour. It was like, I don't even know, like $100, $150. And I got a private tour of the stadium.
Wow.
My tour guide had really awesome stories to tell. And then I got to be on the field for batting practice. So that was super fun. So highly recommend that.
Yeah.
The staff there was amazing. The tour was amazing, and it was a great price. So
great stadium experience overall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean, you for that kind of a price, you cannot beat that at all. That's fantastic. Like that's a great trip too. I've only been to Atlanta for SEC championship actually for football, so I've never got to experience for baseball. But I
highly recommend the Battery, that area around it. ton of fun. I remember the 4-game 2 just walking around. I think I saw like Terry Collins and Keith Hernandez just kind of like bouncing around near the restaurants and bars. And there's apartments there too that I'm kind of like, if I ever have to move to Atlanta, I'm probably getting one of these apartments.
Yeah, right. Well, hey,
figure it out.
I mean, that's good. Hopefully that keeps that area bustling. You know what I mean?
And it's in like the suburbs, so it's not like in the city itself, but
yeah,
it's a nice new area.
What's your before we'll skip? I know we got to get going. Otherwise we'll drag your video on forever. What's your favorite ballpark that you've been to though? I'm curious.
Whew.
One of your favorites. You don't have to label it as your true favorite, just so you can sleep easy tonight.
All right, so PNC Park. I actually went with Nate. So Nate was my roommate freshman year when I met.
Yeah, one of my residents there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we took that trip after we graduated as kind of like a graduation gift to ourselves. And I remember the ballpark just being beautiful and the views being awesome. But one of the reasons I have really fond memories about it is because that area it was in Pittsburgh, we were able to do a lot of walking before the game, walk down to Heinz Field, check that out. That was cool. Hung out at the Jerome Bettis Grill and ate a bunch of wings and like drank a bunch of beers on the streets. Like it was a lot of fun. And then we get into the game, and this is why I just look back at this and laugh. We got like really good seats, like right behind home plate.
Yeah.
Didn't really know much about them other than that they were like in what was called the Lexus Club. I feel like every stadium has different clubs and stuff. So we get there, and they're basically recliners. We have in-seat service, so they bring our food to us. So I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And then like kind of partway through, right before batting practice starts, they come up to us and say, so the complimentary buffet is just down the hall and to the right. And mind you, we had just stuffed our faces at the Jerome Bettis Grill. And we kind of looked at each other like, complimentary buffet? Here we are.
No, it's complimentary buffet.
We were totally clueless. So we're like, we got to do it. And like, all right. Went down the tunnel. I had this delicious bow tie pasta with like a cream sauce of some kind. It wasn't like a cheap buffet. It was a very nice, well done buffet. Yeah. And the bartender down there was awesome. It was fantastic service. So it was just a really fun experience. And it was kind of like, I wish I had paid more attention to the seats we bought ahead of time. We could have planned that. Sure. But it was a lot of fun. And that was a great game to watch because the Tigers, they were playing the Tigers at the time. And the Tigers had Miggy, Prince Fielder, like McCutcheon was on the Pirates and just starting his ascension. So Scherzer, I'm pretty sure, was on the Tigers. And he may have thrown that game. Yeah. But it was just a lot of good talent to watch. So I have fond memories of that stadium because the seats were cushy and awesome. The amenities were great. The views were phenomenal. So I'll go with PNC.
That's sweet.
All right. So my pack was Brandon Lau, Benintendi, Honus Wagner.
Honus.
Mookie Betts. And Kyle Freeland.
All right, we're on pack 4?
Yep.
All right, my man, I'm ready.
Go for it.
All right, we got Matt Carpenter.
Okay. This is a good one. TCU guy.
Charlie Keller, a little old school. Oh, man, Masters of the Game. Matt Chapman.
Is that one numbered? Because that's blue.
I don't know. It's actually I'll say it's like a dark green.
Okay.
It is not, I do not think it's numbered. I don't see it as numbered now.
Okay.
No, but that's pretty cool, though. Yeah, Masters of the Game, Matt Chapman. I'll set it aside, though. Make sure it's sleeved. All right. I'm going to kill this. Cionel Perez.
I'll trust you on that one.
And my man, we'll see, maybe, Luis Severino. Man, that's a guy who needs a return of the season.
He does. All right, so I have Larry Yogi Berra.
Ah, the man. We got a lot of old Yankee players.
Al Kaline, rest in peace. So my Masters of the Game has like a yellowish gold border. It's Javi Baez. This is also not numbered. So I'm intrigued about that.
Not numbered either?
Nope.
Huh.
Al Simmons. And I spoke him into existence, Miguel Cabrera.
You did. You spoke him into existence. Amazing.
All right, let's pack 5. Let's go.
All right, my man, I'm excited. Yeah, we're getting there. And then pack 5, and then we've got some thick. Actually, is that a thick pack for you?
This one is not my thick pack.
You have one thick pack? I got one too, I think. I mean, I trust your expertise on that. You built up a few more packs than I have. All right, my man, let's do this. Pack
All right, go for it.
All right, we got Aaron Nola.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay, a man who's haunted me a little bit in the past. Got a little story about him, too. Pedro Martinez. All right. I have seen him pitch live, actually. Saw him pitch live against Roger Clemens, believe it or not. I remember being super excited. We were sitting in the outfield, and I was excited because Roger Clemens, I was going to watch him run out. And every Yankees game at home, if he pitched, he would run out, touch Babe Ruth's forehead, and then run back out to the pitching mound. Cool thing about him. And I remember like, oh my gosh, he did it. It was so cool. He went out, and then he got shelled. I think the Red Sox scored 11. It was disgusting. And like, I'll never forget just like home run balls coming flying at us in the Sox, and it was like brutal. But it was like an 11-7 game. But Pedro, man, and then another Cooperstown story. So I do have some family that living in Cooperstown now, and one of them is my uncle, and he has a boat right there in town. And he actually took Pedro Martinez and I guess a couple of his buddies during Hall of Fame weekend out on a fishing trip, and broke it to him in the middle of the water that he was a Yankees fan. So a little rough on that one, but hey.
What was he going to do, kick him off the boat?
He threatened to, and then Pedro's like, "We're got you outnumbered, though." He's like, "Oh, all right, good point, good point." But he's a good guy, and at the end of the day, one of my favorite Yankees memories includes him, having a bad moment. So it's pretty great, right? Then we got Team Heroes, Matt Carpenter.
Okay, or is that Matt Chapman?
I'm sorry, Matt Chapman. Wow, Matt Chapman. Cannot read backwards. Matt Chapman. Matt Carpenter would be a whole nother game. Grover Alexander. And Giancarlo Stanton, another guy who needs a good recovery from injury.
He certainly does. All right. I've got Eniel De Los Santos.
Oh, nice.
I have a Justin Verlander crowning moment parallel, or yes.
Oh, sweet.
Team Heroes, JT Realmuto, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., and Jacob deGrom.
Jacob deGrom. I mean, you had to pull at least one of the Mets pitchers, right?
And he's probably the best one to pull.
If you're
gotta say,
that's the
his
one.
choice to convert from a shortstop worked out.
That's true. That's a good point, actually. Sometimes that conversion works, like 1 out of every 100. And it worked that time. All right, man. Now we're on to the thick packs.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this is just like, there's got to be something in here. So
that's like disgustingly thick. This one feels a little bit more, but I could be like fooling myself because after you said it, I started feeling maybe I just got a little excited. But let me rip mine first because that one, man, I'm going to tell you what, unless they glued like 5 cards together on accident, something's going on there. I'm telling you what. But yeah, no, man, this is what got you into this hobby?
Cards in general, like it was just, as a kid growing up as a fan, it was a cool way to learn about the game and kind of, I don't want to say participate in it, but I loved reading stats on the back of cards, like collecting different players and teams. So no, it was really cool. And I think I just started to collect. And my brother collected too, so we kind of had that in common. So it was just a combination of things. It boils down to I love the sport and anything to do with it, really.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's like the whole point of it all at the end of the day, And I think for me, I had a lot of cards growing up, something like that too. But for me, I think I appreciate it now more as the memories of a lot of it, and I want to collect my favorite players too. But I like it I'm interested in like the market value of it, kind of a thing. I got really involved with I guess COMC.com, where they buy and sell cards pretty cheap. online, right? I'm sure you're
check out my cards. Yeah, it's actually a cool site, and
cool.
they
Very
offer a really nice consignment service for people who are trying to like bulk sell.
absolutely, and it's just neat to for purely for that purpose of buying and selling. Because at the end of the day, you never even have to handle the cards in some circumstances, which is kind of cool, you know. And
Yeah.
I just got into it for that, and it's been kind of fun to play around with that. And so I got a few cards that I'm excited about. A few guys on the former Gators that I think are gonna maybe take off this year, so we'll see. But yeah, it's just been it's a cool hobby, and I'm excited. I'm excited, and I appreciate. Before we dig into our big packs, I'm excited to. I'm happy that you're doing this, and excited to see what more videos you have. All right, man. What do we say? You ready?
What you got?
All right, Kevin Kramer.
Okay.
Ooh, this looks like it's the thick one, actually. Ready?
Yep.
Bryce Wilson. Auto.
Nice.
And what is that called again?
Relics, jersey card, whatever you want to call it.
Auto relic. Bryce Wilson from.
Is that a rookie or is it just him?
Atlanta. It says it's Atlanta.
Okay, so it's probably not his rookie year. Okay.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't say anything about him though. Nothing on the back. Is it usually on these? I'm not sure.
They'd usually give you something about him.
Yeah, so I'll show you guys the back. I mean, I could just show the back.
Does it just say the enclosed memorabilia, yada, yada, yada?
That's all.
Oh, well.
Who knows?
You got some Googling to do. Is it numbered?
It is not numbered. No.
Yeah.
Man, no numbers. All right, well, maybe no numbers. We'll see. All right, here we go. Oh, man. You willed them into existence. Mike Piazza.
Love it. Love it.
Your legend. That is a cool card. I really like the card a lot, actually. It's really neat. It's kind of got a different back, too. Different colored back. Is that like a gold?
It's like a throwback. So, like, what does that say? DK205 on it? Yeah, I think they were trying to emulate like the tops, like T205, T206 like stuff. I think that's the view they were kind of going for.
You're right, DK205. Yeah, very cool. All right, and then we got Honus Wagner, another Honus.
Hey, not bad.
Walker Bueller.
He's pretty good too.
He is pretty solid. And that's our pack, man. All right, I'm ready for yours. That's pretty cool.
Right.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
All right.
My DK205 is Blake Snell.
Blake Snell.
Give the man his money.
Hey, pay the man.
Walter Alston. Juan Soto.
Juan Soto. Man, yeah, it's your second Soto, I think.
Yeah. And then now my thick card doesn't have an auto, but it's pretty cool. It's Lee Smith, double jersey card, 84 of 99.
Oh, sick. There it is. There's the numbered card we were looking for, man. That is dirty.
And like I said, that's a pretty thick card. So
wow, that is insanely thick. My gosh, they put the whole jersey in there?
No, just a lot.
Not even this one is that thick. That's kind of crazy.
Know, it's nuts. Well, but okay. So yeah, we both got hits out of retail blasters, which doesn't always happen. So
that's true. I'm thrilled with that. Honestly, there's been like some really cool cards throughout this too. Like outside of we haven't even opened the bonus pack yet. So no, I'm excited. Actually, I want to go through it again too afterwards to see if I think I've got a few rookie card hits that I wanted to look at, and yeah, that's awesome, man.
All right, let's do the bonus pack since you brought it up. Let's see the Babe Ruths.
The Babes. All right.
What you got?
I got my first double hit. Joe Mauer.
All right.
Team Heroes. All right, and then a blue outline. This is interesting, actually. Well, I guess these are the inserts. These are the special inserts, right?
Yeah.
So Jose Ramirez.
Okay, that's not bad.
These are pretty cool too. So it's probably hard for people to see at home, I'm sure, but like it's slightly elevated on the edges a little bit. Yeah, it's a pretty
border on top of the card.
Yeah, that's a really cool card. I like that a lot. Aaron Nola. I think we saw him earlier today.
Maybe.
Matt Chapman. Artist proof. I definitely saw him earlier today.
Yeah, you got it right that time. I'm proud of you.
My man, Matt. And here we go. Babe Ruth collection, Diamond Kings.
You
Oops.
go a little higher on that one.
There you
What
go.
number is that?
I was
On the
reading
back.
that. There you go. That is a cool card.
What's the number on the back? Is that BR 1, 2, or 3?
BR2.
Okay. So I've got Adam Jones. My blue borders are Ohtani. Again, Ohtani on this pack, or this box. Chris Sale. It's my other blue border.
Yeah.
Artist proof Joey Votto. Pretty stoked about that.
That's a good one.
And then my Babe Ruth shows him in Red Sox, literally, pitching. So BR3 is Babe Ruth pitching as a Red Sox.
Well, hey, honestly, if either of us are going to get him as a Red Sox, I'm glad it was you. So only one other question that I had for you, Rob. Had to pick the brain of the card mastermind. What would you say is your personal holy grail card? Obviously they're holy grail cards. Like everyone's Mickey Mantle, rookie, whatever it is out there. But what is your this is the card that I'm oh yes, this is what I want in my center of my collection.
Okay. So tough, but I go back to there's two cards that I'm not sure if they exist, but if they did exist, I would be very interested in trying to figure out how to acquire them. So I don't know how familiar you are with grading and you've got Beckett, PSA. Those are the two big ones.
Yeah.
So what Beckett does with a true perfect 10, meaning perfect 10 surface, edges, corners, and centering, is they do what's called a black label, and then they give it a black label across the top and give you 10 grade and all the details. If you told me that there was a black label perfect 10, Mike Piazza Bowman, first Bowman, and black label David Wright, first Bowman, I would be very interested in either one of those.
There you go. Okay. I mean, that's your guy. That's what I love about it, I think, is that, those are rare cards, right? Especially if mint 10 condition. And if you're going with Beckett, I assume you want with the Beckett grading. What I love about Beckett grading is I like that it has the details about corners, edges, centering. I think that's such a cool factor. They take it so seriously. And I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, they're more stringent, a little bit, reportedly more stringent than PSA.
I won't go into that because I don't know enough about PSA personally.
We shouldn't knock PSA. That's not fair.
I'm not going to knock it because I'm not educated enough on PSA. I've personally always just gone with Beckett.
And PSA is a standard too, so they're both pretty good. But anyway, it's just I think at the end of the day, there's so many great graded 10 cards out there, but yours is two guys that are not only just legendary Mets at their time, but obviously had an impact on your viewing of the game. You know what I mean? I think that's what's really cool and special about baseball cards is that your holy grail card has nothing to do with what's the most expensive card out there and what everyone wants. That's cool.
Yeah. What's yours?
Oh man, so very very similarly, probably 1993 Upper Deck foil Derek Jeter rookie card.
Okay.
The original that card, one, it's just beautiful. It's fully foiled, where it's overly foiled. It definitely does not look great. It's so foiled.
It's the Lisa Frank of baseball cards.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's a great way to put it. So it's overly foiled, and I love it. And Derek Jeter is one of the reasons I became a Yankee fan for sure. And just I've always loved every aspect of his game. On and off the field. And so for sure, that's the kind of guy that if I was gonna buy a card, Beckett mint 10 would definitely be the 1993 Upper Deck.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. All right, but on the topic of favorite cards, what was your favorite card you pulled out of the ones we did today?
Oh my gosh, man! I knew that you were gonna ask me about that too. I'm gonna have to fly through them. I'll tell you what, this Mike. I feel like I'm bragging a little bit, but this Mike Piazza card is just beautiful.
It is.
Standing throwing. Look at those locks. Can we talk about?
Dude, I had a mullet in middle school and elementary school because of Piazza.
Piazza was your man. And I think I'm pretty excited. We got a Ronald Acuna That's really nice. And you know what though? Like for me, pulling cards, because really at the end of the day, just I don't remember as a kid pulling a lot of these. Getting an auto relic is pretty
That's
sweet.
awesome.
And I hope that Bryce Wilson. I'm really embarrassed that I don't know a lot of these guys, but I hope Bryce Wilson ends up having a Hall of Fame career.
I'll root that on with you.
It is a sticker. It is a sticker auto, but hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And this was a pretty solid little box, honestly.
Yeah, no, these came out really good. I'm stoked about this.
Yeah.
All right, my favorites. I'm gonna throw out there. DeGrom was awesome, but like I gotta say, Satchel Paige is as cool as it gets.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good card.
I love that.
What a great card too.
Say, this Yogi Berra though, I love Yogi just in general, but I love this portrait and picture of him too.
Yeah.
I feel like the classic one, and big fan of this card.
That's a great classic card of him in the catcher position too.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
See how he progresses. Kind of. I'm a big Brady Singer fan with the Kansas City Royals, right? And
Florida homer.
And I'm a big Florida homer. Hey, man won a national championship. Okay,
That's
just
fair.
saying. When they bring you home a national championship, you gotta show some respect. Okay. And so I appreciate him. I'm a good friend. You know, I got to meet him briefly while he was in Florida. And good guy. And I'm excited though. He's moving through the ranks, and he's one of those guys where, you know, I got his rookie card, and I'm just like, I'm excited because not only do I just like the player, but too, I'm like, oh, I hope this guy goes through, you know. And even just like you said, like some of these, like I'm gonna go through and I want to look at some of these rookies, and I want to like look up and see, like, okay, like where are they in the system? How are they going? You know, and it's a cool way to get more invested in the game and to get other people connected to it too. It's pretty fun, man.
I agree. All right, so you brought up national championships at Florida. So that brings us to the giveaway that I'm doing in association with this video. So in honor of you being the Florida Gator you are, you know who else won a couple of national championships at Florida?
Who's that?
Mr. Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
So what I have here is a Tim Tebow bobblehead with the Binghamton Rumble ponies. I'll slowly try to get it out of the box here. So I have not taken this out of the packaging since I got it. I'm going to have to find like a stock photo or something to put up with this. But this is what we're giving away in honor of our Florida Gator joining us. And
that's cool. I'm going to have to give giveaway. This is a sweet giveaway, dude. This is awesome.
Hey, you're welcome to enter. So all you got to do to enter is when I post this video, I will have the details on there. It'll just be a retweet and follow for a chance to win a Tim Tebow Binghamton Rumble Ponies bobblehead.
Like that too, but man, that's pretty awesome. Well, Rob, I want to thank you, man. This was an absolute blast. I had a great time, and
it was great catching up with you.
Love catching up. Love ripping packs. This is my first, like, I guess, professional crack pack.
I wouldn't call this professional by any means. We're shooting this on like cell phones, and it's going to be spliced together on like a cell phone app. So,
and I tell you what,
total amateur hour, but it was fun, and that's what matters.
Honestly, that's what this whole thing is about: doing fun stuff like this, kind of turning hobbies into fun little projects. You know, especially when we're all stuck inside, which is pretty cool. And even on that note, too, you'll have to come on. During this pandemic, I started a podcast with our buddy Trizzy, and we honestly hop on every week. We've been talking mostly Last Dance and other sports and random stuff. So we'll get you on one week, and you can tell us a little bit about this, and we'll just talk sports and other fun stuff, man. It'll be great.
It's good, dude. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, check it out. It's the Dude Pod on Spotify. Just make sure everyone checks it out.
You would call it the Dude Pod.
It is, man. It's a good. Hey, I'm just saying, the Dude Pod on Spotify. Give it a listen. It's a good time.
Absolutely. All right. CA, it's been great catching up with you, man. Stay safe out there. We'll talk soon, I'm sure. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, my man. Keep ripping.